welcome back to a new video. Today, we're going to be debating YOUMUU'S versus Hubris. Let me know in the comments what you think about these two items. I'd love to hear back from you guys. Don't be afraid to get in those comments and let me know your opinion, or let me know which item you build in your games and why. I'm Zerka. If you're new to the channel, I've been playing since Season 3, with the majority of my games being played in the jungle and thousands of games being played on Graves. I recently hit Diamond with a 76% win rate on Graves in the jungle. If you're interested in learning how I did that, check those videos out. I'm sure you can learn something. But for now, let's jump into this video today. I'm going to start with YOUMUU'S Ghostblade. The sole purpose of this item is to offer mobility. It gives 4% move speed, 10 move speed while out of combat, 15% move speed on the active, and it also offers ghosting, which is the ability to ignore unit collision. Kind of handy. I don't know if you've ever been, I mean, you probably have been minion blocked if you played this game, but it's pretty damn annoying. We're gonna basically review how much movement speed over time this actually gives you and how much ground you're actually gonna make over the span of the map. So what I'll do is I'll put a ward here, we'll go bot, and I'll put a ward there. And then we're gonna run from this ward to that ward, and we'll see how long it takes us. So I'll start with that 2 minutes 30. Let's see with the active how long it might take. I'll skip through. So it was just under 32 seconds, I believe, like 31 and a bit, really, like on average. And that was only using the active once. Now I will get Hubris so that we can compare them next to each other. I feel like this is a long enough stretch to get a decent comparison in time and speed, right? And I'll look to go from 4 minutes to make it easier to time and track.
Easy, partner.
Okay, so I clicked 4 minutes. We'll see how long it takes. If you notice, the movement speed down here is a lot different. When you have YOUMUU'S, it's 390 move speed, and it goes up to 440 when you use your active for 4 seconds. Let's see what that translates to over time on the map when you're walking this far of a distance. So 32, you'd already be there with YOUMUU'S. So it ends up taking 35 seconds. What does this mean? It means that it takes an extra 4 seconds to get from top side of the river to bottom side of the river. But you have to factor in that over time and over distance traveled in the game, that these 4 seconds will add up. So if you run or clear bot to top 4 times, that is going to be like 3 seconds each time. If you do it 5 times, then it's going to be 15 seconds over that span of time, right? The more you move, the more effective YOUMUU'S is, essentially. Okay, so here's something I prepared earlier. Bit of a notepad document, and we're just going to go over it and review it. And it's just going to help explain YOUMUU'S Ghostblade and what it brings to the table. So if you're building YOUMUU'S Ghostblade, you're going to make sure you want to do these things to maximize this item's capabilities. Basically, here's a brief explanation of what the item is. It's just a high tempo lethality item built around mobility, map pressure, and fast target access. It's going to allow for faster rotations around the map. The out of combat movement speed will let you move between camps, lanes, and objectives quicker. So this means faster counter ganks, invades, objective setups, and cross-map trades. If the jungler was to give you that sort of information, you can capitalize off what information was given to you. Yeah, it's just a strong early game item over Hubris. It's going to give you the instant AD and lethality. Hubris does offer that, but it's also a scaling item, so you don't get the rest of the item until later. I have a bit of an internet document here that I can show you. This was made 17 days ago, and it's just someone that's done the maths behind the new Hubris update, or the nerf they kind of gave it. And it's basically just saying that the item isn't hitting its old spike until a bit later. So you actually have to have 9 kill participations or get 9 stacks on the item for it to be more effective than it was in the last patch. Yeah, it's going to be neutral at 8 kill participations, and it's a nerf anything before that. Yeah, I'm just trying to kind of compare them with the early game potential on each. Like, Hubris is clearly a late game option, and YOUMUU'S is just going to give you that ideal damage early and allow you to skirmish and snowball a bit faster. Yeah, it will snowball the game in other aspects, not your damage, like taking objectives, getting your team snowballing, showing up to their lanes faster with the tempo that you're given from utilizing the item properly. Yeah, it gives you that Wraith Step active. This active is just going to allow you to chase down slippery champions. Maybe they have dashing abilities and stuff like that, and you just need YOUMUU'S to allow you to catch up, fire your ult off, secure the kill with Dark Harvest. Maybe Hubris won't offer you that same potential. You're going to be too slow and your ult might just be out of range. So it's going to give you that extra bit of movement to chase kills down and also escape fights that you might be in. You might be in a bit of a sticky situation and you have the YOUMUU'S active ready to fire. It's just going to help you get away. Hubris, you're kind of more of a sitting duck. And then, yeah, you're going to be able to reach fights before the enemy jungler with the tempo you gain from this item. More movement speed, faster clear speed. That's going to put you into a position where you're clearing faster than the enemy jungle so you can make plays before them with level advantages. That's the whole idea of tempo, right? And the next big one is the fact that YOUMUU'S allows you to delay the tier 2 boots. And you can delay them up to the third item with Graves, which is really important because Graves wants to buy crit ASAP. As soon as you start getting crit, that's when his damage really comes online. So the faster we're getting crit, the faster we're going to be clearing camps as well. And then we're going to be able to utilize YOUMUU'S to also move faster around the map. And what this will do is eventually give us better tempo and then more time between recycling camps to utilize information usage given by the jungler. Yeah, I'm a big advocate for movement speed in the jungle. It's severely underrated. People opt for building damage over movement speed these days. So it's important to maintain a good ratio between damage and movement speed. Yeah, when gaining enemy jungle info on the map, Ghostblade's going to help you convert that info into counter ganks, invades, objective pressure, vertical jungling, and just number advantages in skirmishes alone. Maybe you're going for grubs. So maybe the enemy jungler is going for grubs. You have prio on the top side. You can ping grubs, get to grubs in time to make a 2v1 with your top laner that has prio. It's a really good item for proactive junglers. You don't want to be just sitting in your own jungle and farming up, doing too much full clearing. You want to be able to move and pressure the map as well, utilizing the tempo gained from this item. So in conclusion, Ghostblade is far more reliable. It's giving you that outright damage, movement speed, and value early. Hubris is going to offer that a bit later. As we saw before, you need to get 9 kill participations before that item really starts to come online. And if you're in Emerald and above, are you going to be securing 9 kill participations fast? Or how long might that take you? So that's why Hubris is a much better item in lower elos. You're going to be lacking that movement speed that the YOUMUU'S does offer you for the skirmishes and stuff we spoke about earlier. And YOUMUU'S is just in general going to help you control that map and create winning plays to end games a lot quicker. So if you're coming up against a scaling comp, maybe there's a Smolder, Vladimir, Kassadin in the enemy composition, maybe you're going to want to try and end the game before the 30-minute mark. You don't want to allow these champions to scale before they turn into hyper carries. Games like this, you're going to want to opt for a YOUMUU'S. And yes, it's going to become a worse off item if the game goes longer than 30 minutes. Hubris is going to come out on top for sure. In some cases like this, I will just look to sell YOUMUU'S later and buy like a stronger damage source instead. So like most of the time I'll end up selling YOUMUU'S for Bloodthirster. And that just gives you extra dueling power against bruiser style champions or champions that are in your face, a bit more sustain and a lot of damage. Like Bloodthirster offers 80 attack damage. So let's move on to Hubris now. I've got a little notepad document here showing you information on the item itself. As I said earlier, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know which item you prefer in your games, what suits your playstyle more and why. I'd love to hear from you guys, seriously. Let's have a little bit of debate about it. I know like each item has their pros and cons. There's no right or wrong, really. It just depends on the scenario. But if you prefer one item over the other because of your playstyle, let me know and why. And what do you pair these items with? The basic rundown of Hubris, as we've discussed so far, is it just is an insanely powerful snowball item. As all items with extreme power and attack ability, they don't have any defense options, which is what I've written here. There's no defense, pure offense only, no shield, no mobility, no spell shield, no sustain. So it offers that snowball potential. If you're ahead early, the item can spiral out of control and just gives you insane bonuses in fights, can help you power down objectives, can help you clear camps. If you get kills, you can utilize those stacks to do full clears in your own jungle. Over the next 60 seconds, you retain those stacks. It has permanent scaling throughout the game. So if the games are going to be going over 30 minutes, then this item is going to be godlike, really. Unlike normal lethality items, Hubris scales through its passive stacks over time. It's great for assassins and skirmish playstyles. Graves is literally built for skirmishers. That's his whole playstyle. You kind of want to farm, get mass amounts of gold so that you're strong enough for skirmishers' early objectives, so you can snowball the game out of control early. And that's why I kind of opt more for a YOUMUU'S style game. Hubris rewards aggressive tempo. If you're good at playing aggressive, no matter what, this game style can always be a little bit coin flippy unless you're completely smurfing. Mainly because solo queue, you end up playing with random players. They're unknown. You don't know what their capabilities are. You don't know what their skill set is like. So it's hard to trust them when you're making invades, when you're forcing skirmishes. You don't know what their skill set's like. So all of these here can be risky, and that's kind of coin flippy to me. As you know from my videos, if you've watched them, I'm not a coin flip player. I usually like to play a calculated game and stick to the fundamentals. Hubris amplifies your lead a lot harder than any other lethality item, hands down, of course. That's what it's built for. Similar to Dark Harvest Rune, you can take over the mid game once you start stacking. If you have a really nice early game and you are getting over 9 kill participation stacks, 9 stacks, whatever you want to call it, early on, then that item's going to start snowballing out of control. But yeah, if you're not, we'll get to the cons in a second. One successful fight early can give you that huge AD. Then you're going to chain kills into objectives, map control. You're going to be able to clear your camps a lot faster with that extra bit of AD you get from its passive. Its biggest weakness is being behind. Can definitely feel extremely underwhelming. Unlike the reliable items of YOUMUU'S, they just give you the straight stats from the get-go. So it's heavily snowball dependent, which is a little bit coin flippy. Yeah, it requires takedowns. If you don't get any kills or assists, the passive value drops completely. So that gold, the 2,800 gold it costs in total, isn't essentially, you're not getting the full value out of all of that gold you spent if you're not picking up any kills and assists. Yeah, if fights are slow and you can't reach the carries, which goes hand in hand with no kills and assists, then the item's going to lose value. You need to make sure you're pulling off successful skirmishes. Yeah, it offers no defense utility, no shield, no mobility, no spell shield, no sustain. Feels really bad from behind. If the enemy has armor, there's a lot of tanks. You can't pick up many kills. It genuinely just becomes harder to stack consistently across the game. So there's probably other item options there that are better into tanks with Graves. Yeah, it's less reliable in coordinated high peel games, especially with comps with heavy CC like Leona's, peel supports, and you can't get to that carry. They have a really good support player that stops you from assassinating. Yeah, getting resets safely can become difficult, which can bait you into being overly aggressive. Say if you're getting frustrated because you're not stacking the item, you're not getting full value out of it, you might forget to apply the fundamentals you normally would in a jungle match, which will overforce your hand. You might go bot side when the enemy bot laners are kind of ahead. They're already starting to snowball and you overforce like a play. And what happens is you're still weak and you end up getting triple killed by the enemy Samira or something like that. And you lose the game off the back of that. So it's just another example of coin flipping. So just forcing bad fights to keep the stacking passive uptime instead of playing fundamentals. So I just thought I'd write a couple of dot points on when it is better to buy either items. Maybe there's other pros and cons that I've missed, but you get the basic ideas. Like I would usually go Hubris with these points here. You're confident you can snowball against the composition and the enemy players. So if you're in lower elo and you know that you're going to be able to snowball the item, then for sure build Hubris. The enemy team has multiple squishies. You expect lots of skirmishes, early game fights, stuff like that. You got to make sure you're staying on tempo with the item though. If you're going to be forcing a lot of skirmishes or you're going to fall behind from jungle XP and gold. If you get ahead early and you haven't bought your first item yet, then yeah, you could, if you've got 3 to 4 kills early, go for Hubris. Just got to make sure you're sticking to your jungle fundamentals, staying on tempo and recycling your camps. And then you can consistently get takedowns, which kind of goes hand in hand with these others. And then YOUMUU'S is generally better when you need map tempo. You're playing macro heavy jungle. So once you start getting to higher elos, macro heavy jungle becomes extremely important. You want reliable value every game. The word reliable here is super important to me. I love playing a reliable game, as I always say. Yeah, you're not massively ahead. You're not getting stacks. You're not getting kills. You're just sticking to that macro, fundamentally strong gameplay. Then yeah, build this item. Yeah, and you need better rotations, faster rotations, better positioning, and positioning in team fights. The movement speed is always handy. So to wrap this video up, from my opinion, both items can be super strong in different scenarios. It's really situational on which item you might want to build, which playstyle you might want to play, and how you play as a player. What suits your playstyle more? If maybe you just need to learn the other playstyle and then you can utilize both items. Let me know in the comments. As I've said throughout the video, I'd love to hear feedback. I'd love to hear a bit of a debate on why you think one item is better than the other. I'm not too sure. Let me know. Is Hubris your item of choice, or is YOUMUU'S Ghostblade your item of choice? I know that through years of playing Graves, I really enjoy building YOUMUU'S and I really love having that movement speed. And that's just in higher elo gameplay. Of course, if it was lower elo, I'm going to build Hubris every day of the week and just 1v9 basically. So yeah, thanks for watching today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like. And if you want to see more Graves content, more educational content, more debates like this, then make sure you subscribe, and I'll do my best to bring out more videos for you in the future that you can learn from, or maybe we can just have a chat about. But yeah, thanks for your time. Really appreciate you watching the video.